So what fun times we've landed ourselves in, this wonderful species. So cool. So it's been a couple of months since my last video, I think about 3 or 4 months. In that space I left my full-time job and I am now focusing on my marketing business and also my e-commerce store. I was kind of forced to focus on my e-commerce store. That was not part of the plan at all. A dribble. But yeah, so I've been officially 1 month self-employed, kind of, you know, doing the hustle thing. That's it for catching up with me. All I do is kind of work and things, juggling all the plates, and so far none of them are smashed. Not my plates anyway. I think the world plates are, you know, someone needs to be watching them, getting the cushions out. So in light of like world events, I mean, like, you can catch up on my last couple of videos for my viewpoint on everything. It's not that it really matters, but just in case people are finding it a bit overwhelming, I thought I'd put together a couple of tips, just because I think the way to navigate the months to come, weeks to come maybe, definitely the remainder of this year, is to kind of nest down. So not so much hibernate, kind of like build your nest, pad it out, and get community focused. And this is actually like a marketing tip as well, is to kind of niche down. So not kind of focus on the broad, the world, you know, try not to try and conquer the world, start smaller. So that definitely means getting rooted in the community and the area that you live in. Try not to dribble, I might have to make a coffee in a minute. But yeah, and networking with your local community, getting to know people in your community, be it like through, I don't want to say networking events because that's very business orientated, and like, I know not a lot of people will have those opportunities to network with local businesses and things, and it might not be everyone's cup of tea, because I mean sometimes it is a bit boring. Try and find community like activities, and if not, niche down with your own homestead, your family. If you haven't got a family, friends, if you haven't got friends, you know, go online and try and find some kind of support thing, because I think this is kind of what everyone needs, especially this time of year, Christmas coming up and things. It's always shit, it always brings up that like, your life is better if you've got people. Not necessarily, like, this is my thing, you know, introverted hermit. Like, I'm quite like okay without people's drama and things, you know. That's the best way I can describe it. I could go on, but I don't know if I'm going into a personal rant. Maybe, who knows. I'll just kind of ramble and see what comes out. God love us all. Let's make a coffee. So yeah, without kind of skitting over, skitting, is that a word? Skitting? I don't know, it is now. Without skitting over the obvious in the world, I think it's going to be very testing for a lot of people, if it hasn't already been. Without going doom and gloom, you know, because I very much think that's kind of like the desired reaction from everything, is to not know which way is up and which way is down, and like which way is right, and just kind of panic and like do whatever without skitting over it. I think the best way to kind of deal with it all is to kind of get back. Step back even, put the phones down, put the laptops down, put the laptops down, take a breather. If something isn't in your immediate environment that you can control or change, you know, I think take 10 seconds and count back from 10, and get back into your body without kind of getting too stuck on the, they call it doom scrolling, you know. Unfortunately, like, my personal thing is, this has been going on for like a good while, and it's unfortunate that like it will kind of get to the point and people have no choice but to look at what's happening and things. If people feel like they can't do anything about it, because I mean there isn't a lot many people can do apart from just kind of hang on, fasten the seatbelts and hang on. Yeah, I think it's really important to kind of get centered and come back into our bodies and our heads and things. My coping mechanism, I suppose, is just kind of being a workaholic and just working, and then in the same breath, like dealing with the legalities of my own business and things, as well as trying to do what little bit of activism I feel like I can do and is within my control and my capabilities and things. Yeah, I think it's very much kind of getting back into ourselves and trying not to get too caught up with the outer world, because it will get very noisy. Just like news, propaganda and all that thing, you know. He said, she said, and they said this, and someone did this to us and all that shit. So yeah, and I think it's been strategically timed as well for this time of year, that people are kind of like, oh, bury our heads in shopping and things, you know, boost the economy, boost the economy. If anything, it just shows that we have got mad people in power. Lunatics have taken over the asylum. They've been in charge for a while. It's very much like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Just reality, you know, never mind like analogy. It is very much a reality kind of thing. You've got so many people with problems and they don't know how to behave towards each other. They don't know how to kind of cope. They don't know how to kind of like deal with their own problems. So they just project like throw all their shit at people instead of like jumping in the shower and just washing it off, you know, dealing with it. It's easier said than done, don't get me wrong. I know like mental health is a big one, and that's why I'd like to kind of make this video. It's very much to kind of offer some guidance and tips and things, hopefully to help, definitely not to hinder. First tip would be like community focus, to get community focus, be it with your business, be it with your family, be it with like whatever groups you're involved with, you know. Try and niche down to your locale, so your town, your city, county. That's very much like an Irish thing, but I know it's counties here in England as well. But yeah, getting community focused. I think this is kind of what the world needs anyway. It's kind of like that breaking point. We've got no choice now but to kind of like actually become communities. In terms of that, I think get resourceful. So try not to depend too much on technology for your entertainment and things. So pick up a book, pick up an instrument, do something crafty, you know, handmade stuff. Especially handmade, because it's that kind of like mindfulness thing. Dancing's a good one. You know, a bit of a bop in the kitchen if you're watering and things. Music, I mean, I know there are so many families and things in the UK at the minute struggling, just with fuel bills and the food bills and everything else, stresses of life and things. The countryside, or you haven't got access to like immediate nature, do try and either get out for a walk, 10-minute walk or something, you know, just kind of, especially if you don't work, or if you kind of work from home, or if you're just kind of like house bound for whatever reason, do try and get some kind of like outdoor activity into your routine. Again, it's kind of building routines. Routines are like the foundations of everything. So yeah, it's all about learning habits that support our well-being, and hopefully the well-being of others, you know. But yeah, again, if it's not something that you can kind of like deal with immediately or control within your environment, just completely switch off from the news, completely switch off from social media. If people are telling you about things, just tell them you haven't got the capacity to deal with it, think about it. That's completely fine. And if you're that kind of person that's panicking and like trying to tell people about what's happening and things, just take a breather yourself before you go off and tell people, you know. and think how it's going to impact people, because I don't actually think many people know how to cope with like trivial things, seemingly trivial. Yeah, just because it's trivial to you, it might not be to someone else. It's just try and have that capacity for someone else, that kind of like consideration before you start telling people what's what. And the thing is, there's so much out there at the minute. It's very much kind of like there's too much for like people to process. That's very interesting. My camera switched off. I don't know, I haven't slept yet, not since yesterday. But yeah, what else? What other tips can I give people to try and help? Music, creativity, this is the best way to kind of like combat things. And again, try not to get too caught up in things that don't really affect you immediately, you know. Battery's going to die. I think I'm going to leave it at that, and hopefully there's some helpful tips in there. I don't know. If anyone does get overwhelmed, feel free to drop me a comment, drop me an email. If you want marketing tips and things, subscribe to the other channel, and maybe I'll drop it down below. Check out my store, try and build up the brand to fight these people that are trying to steal it. I think I can say that legally, I think I'm allowed to. So yeah, great stuff. In the meantime, stay awesome, stay classy, be kind, and I've got a cup in that.